In September, OTA joined with ODOT in a statewide seatbelt safety campaign. While numbers are still coming in, we're excited to see others sharing these messages and helping spread the word that wearing a seatbelt increases your chances of surviving a crash by 50%. Our message was never skip the click. We've had several other state agencies that have jumped on board with this and taken pictures of them putting their seatbelts on. Their directors and deputy directors really appreciate the other state agencies that have picked this up. It affects everyone, seatbelt usage does. Oklahoma ranks 44th in the nation for seatbelt usage, and improving that ranking by buckling up could save hundreds, if not thousands, of lives in the coming years, just in Oklahoma. Last month, we shared a powerful testimonial video about a crash on the Turner Turnpike in which a young man was severely injured a year ago because he was not wearing his seatbelt. I want to thank Trey Weber again for his courage in sharing his story and for encouraging other young men like himself across Oklahoma to always buckle up. Coming up next in October 20th through the 24th is National Teen Driver Safety Week. An OTA will highlight that week with social media content for teen drivers focused on vehicle care and how to stay safe if they must pull over to the side of the turnpike or any other highway for an emergency. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to invite Tom Robbins, founder of Work Zone Safe, to the podium to talk about a statewide teen driver safety curriculum and the ongoing efforts to see other states adopt the first in the nation program.
Do we want to play that video to start? That'd be okay. Work Zone Safe is an opportunity to shred our pamphlets and to give modern tools to teens in ways that they learn so they can be educated and engaged on work zone safety. Teen drivers are learning the skills of how to drive safely, but they aren't getting the education and engagement that they need around work zone safety. So this is an effort to put these modernized tools in their hand, to learn directly from ODOT employees and contractors and friends about the face behind the flag, to experience what a flagger zone is, and to walk through that work zone.
I feel as though you're just trying to get done, get your permit, you're just excited, you just want to get it over with and get on the road. But I feel like being here and seeing all the actual things that could possibly happen, you're paying attention, you're honed in to what is happening, and you can really have a better understanding of what you're doing.
The most critical point, though, is that they're introduced to work zone safe faces, to people who have been impacted by crashes and work zone safety, and gives them an opportunity to learn their stories.
I spend the majority of my time traveling through the different turnpikes within the state, and what I see every day is people on their phones, distraction, people not paying attention, anywhere from people putting on makeup, painting their nails, changing clothes, reading books, anything and everything that you can think of as a distraction, I've seen it. My number one concern every day is knowing this is occurring and knowing these people are driving by my coworkers, 5 feet away from them or less.
Teen drivers are then invited to take an online Work Zone Safe course, which they can do anytime online at workzonesafe.com. Work Zone Safe teen drivers who complete this course have the opportunity to be awarded a monthly scholarship. They qualify for an insurance discount, and here in Oklahoma, they get a 60-minute free jump pass at Edmond Sky Zone.
It's absolutely important to educate because they're not getting this education anywhere else. So if we put these out there, they see what we're doing. They see in these construction zones, our people are out there working and dying in construction zones.
This is a very important event to not only train the teenagers, but to just reinforce that we're parents of those teens as well. So we are all in. Safety is our number one priority. If you bring an exciting program like this, we're going to try to make it as successful as we can.
So schools or safety partners anywhere across the country can go to workzonesafe.com and reach out to us. We can let them know how these tools can be made available to them. Join us. Contact us at workzonesafe.com. Find out how you can be a partner in educating and engaging teens on how to be work zone safe. All right. So as the founder of Work Zone Safe, we have a powerful, simple, but impactful mission, and that is for every new teen driver to know that there's a face and family behind every flag, cone, and flashing light. I'd be remiss if I didn't just note my good friend Mike Patterson. When I served with the former governor, I would see him wear these orange pins, and I asked him one time, I said, Mike, what's that about? He goes, well, that's for Work Zone Safe, Robbins. I go, well, tell me more. And he told me that there was over 70 employees that had been killed for the ODOT and the Turnpike Authority, and that there was a monument, which I never knew before, in front of these offices. And so as I investigated, I found out that Oklahoma, much like every other state, simply was handing out pamphlets or was challenged in how they're educating and engaging teens. And so reimagining it, I ran back and said, hey, I think I might have this solution. And he supported it, as then Director Gatz and, of course, Director E. Kelly. And we do that through two ways. One is we recognize that teens, they need a hands-on experience. The current driver's ed, to go through a work zone, there isn't a requirement. Pretty much every state in the country just has one or two questions on the driver's test. And that's inadequate, because we're facing a crisis on our roads, as been noted in the increases of crashes and fatalities. That's primarily driven by digitally drunk driving, where we've taken on drunk driving with our policies and, of course, in the criminal justice system. And my teens know exactly what's going to happen if they ever decide to drink and drive. Unfortunately, we've all allowed ourselves to be digitally drunk, and the impact is just as powerful of people weaving and going off the road. And we're seeing that, unfortunately, this last month here in the Turnpike Authority, losing one of our Turnpike family members to that. In addition to that, we've seen an uptick in speeding, and of course, we've noted the seatbelt use. And so what we've done is we've given an opportunity where we go out in the community, and just like you see hosting these events with the ODOT, Turnpike, and our contractors and supporters, is we first give these teens an opportunity to hear from the face behind the flag cone and flashing light, where they share the shared goal of coming home safe. And as they walk those teens through a work zone, we talk about the signs and the scenarios. And those teens, what they tell us is that they're scared. They have an elevated level of anxiety. They try to avoid work zones because it's the most difficult and challenging environment that they have. And from the ages of 15 to 20, the most likely contributor of someone passing away at that age group is behind the wheel or as a passenger. And so they either get that right before they get their license and that permission to drive and those keys put in their hand. They don't wake up when they're 40 and say, all of a sudden I'm going to be a work zone safe and I'm going to respect the work zone. And so we do that hands-on, and it's a great partnership with ODOT, OTA, and the contractors. I'll be out this Thursday and next week with these crews. To date, we've reached, and over 50,000 Oklahoma teens have walked through that work zone since we started it. Number two is we recognize every state basically just fights every 10 years to get an extra question on the driver's test. Well, when you're facing a crisis where people are being injured and killed and work zone families are being destroyed and drivers or passengers are ending up in the hospital, that's not adequate. And so what we launched here in Oklahoma was an online program called Work Zone Safe at workzonesafe.com, where Oklahoma teens have the opportunity to go in depth and learn what they actually need to be a successful and safe driver and a confident driver in a work zone. They learn about speeding, distractions, and seatbelts. And this month we introduced, because of what we're seeing in numbers, a section about impairment, where they learn about the consequences, the impacts, the rules, and the laws. Also in respect and acknowledgement that our first responders, and particularly here in the Turnpike, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, amongst others, shares that space and is in harm's way. We have a special focus on our slow down and move over efforts and laws, where they are introduced to people that have been impacted on our highway and Turnpike system because of that. Now, as we do all that, they have to answer questions, they have to watch the videos, and they have an engaging time learning about it. But I would say the most important part of our course is the very end, where we introduce them behind the faces, behind the flag cones and flashing lights, to our law enforcement, our first responders, our tow truck operators, fellow teens who unfortunately kiss their dad goodbye but don't get to see him again because he was taken in a work zone. And then I want to let you know, because I think all of us, when a tragedy happens, say, what are we going to do? How can we move forward? How is this person going to be remembered? And is there any good that can be done out of it? As you know, Zach, who was killed just less than 2 months ago because of a distracted driver on the Turnpike, we just updated that section to include his information. And so what we tell there, and I'll share that, it says, work zone safety is not just about statistics, it's about people like Zach, a 36-year-old husband, father, veteran, firefighter, and Turnpike Authority worker who never made it home. On August 18th, he was working along the Will Rogers Turnpike when a distracted semi-truck driver looking for a drop device veered off the road and struck and killed Zach, also seriously injuring another Turnpike worker. Zach's more than a headline. He proudly served 6 years in the U.S. Army. He was a volunteer firefighter. He was on the search and rescue team. He loved coaching t-ball, soccer, duck hunting, OSU cowboy football, and most of all his family. He leaves behind his wife, and we name who those are, and his children. We have a quote from a teacher of his, and then we invite all the teens to watch a video from the news of his friends and family. At the end, we have questions, but these go way beyond the driver's test of what color is a work zone sign, being orange. And the final question that they're asked in this program is, Zach Reinhardt's wife asked you to do what? And the correct answers that they have to select before they can move on is always pay attention, remember that workers have families and want to go home. When I first started this, it was voluntary. We got great support from our contractors and friends, and so we offered a scholarship, a $500 scholarship that we give out to a teen every single month in recognition of them learning about being work zone and move over safe. I had this idea, though, that we needed to modernize. People said, we love the enthusiasm. Good luck, buddy. I will tell you, I'll spare you the details because of the time, but we were able to get that bill introduced, and at the end of 2003, Oklahoma became the first state in the country to require every new teen driver before they get their intermediate driver's license to successfully complete the approved course, which is this, on work zone and move over safety. So in those first years where we just had 2,000 to 3,000 people doing it voluntarily, as of today, we've had over 112,000 Oklahoma teens who are receiving this information about work zone and move over safe. Since then, I get a lot of questions from DOTs, turnpikes, contractors, national trade associations. One, remind me where Oklahoma is, Robbins. I'm happy to tell them. Number two, how'd you kick our butts? And it was because of the safety culture, the leadership of those that have led this department and others to elevate it quickly. When I brought this idea to Mr. Patterson, within 60 days it was up and running. That's not the norm in most states. They don't get to do those type of things. But since we've done this, I'll just let you know that the state of Wisconsin has identified and adopted and passed legislation and adopted the program. North Carolina has adopted legislation in the program, and it'll begin next month. The state of Connecticut has passed the same law and has adopted the program, and it'll begin January 1. Kansas and Missouri have now adopted and are doing it voluntarily. I have a call with Nevada this afternoon. I'll be speaking at the National Virtual Work Zone Safe Conference on Thursday. I'll be going to AASHTO's Work Zone Safe Conference with ODOT and OTA representatives to present on this. But it's quickly becoming the standard and the leader of how we educate and engage our teens. Our message is simple. Every teen driver should know that there's a face and family behind every flag, cone, and flashing light. To give them the why behind it. To teach them from going from scared to prepared. That they know at all times that they need to have to keep themselves safe. Because there are no accidents. They're always 100% preventable. That they need to have eyes up, phone down, buckle up, slow down. In conclusion, I'll just say, besides the nationwide leadership that's been by this leadership here at the Turnpike and ODOT, people always say, teens are great. What about those adults out there? I'm thinking about that. So that's probably what'll come back next. But I know a lot of our adults out there. But as somebody who has teens, I appreciate your efforts. I appreciate the focus of safety. And we're going to be celebrating this and promoting this during National Teen Driver Safety Week on the 20th of this month. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. I just want to commend you on your efforts, and that's a great program.
Thank you.
Really good.
Appreciate it.
And of course, he's not very enthusiastic about his program.
Yeah, I got my driver's license a long time ago. And I was in my 20s probably before I met somebody who was the face behind a cone, right? Before you met somebody. We all know somebody who's a face behind a cone here. And this introduces it before you even get your license. My son, actually in the video, he's not in the video, but he participated in the one that was there at Stroud and then did the online course before he was able to get his driver's license. So I think it's tremendous. It's a big deal. He came out of that and said, "You got a dangerous job, Dad." And I said, "Well, I don't have to stand behind the cone anymore, and not very often. But we get to do something that can create some change around that." So thank you very much for that great presentation.